We have our wonderful, wonderful group of animal trainers, and they take the animals' training very seriously. And for me, the fact that they love these animals as they do, and they are so able to train them to do these amazing things with positive reinforcement and with love.
Action. On your mark. Go, sir. Good. Stay. Good. Good.
The trainers that we have on staff are really great professionals. We're all in this business because we love animals, not really for any other reason.
These guys have everything they could possibly want and then some. I treat them like my kids. I feel like I'm a mom. You know, I'm telling them to stop it, you two, break it up, break it up. They headbutt each other a lot, you know, just for fun. They can't hurt each other or anything, but they just start pushing their weight around with each other. So yeah, I'm constantly having to keep my eye on them like little kids in the back of a van. They're affectionate in a different way. These guys, you can see that they'll rub on you and that kind of thing. The pigs, when you go in the morning, you can practically just pick them up and cuddle them because they have a sound. They are so happy to see you and they let you know it. With the pigs, there's a lot more training involved, a little bit more of what they call operant and conditioning type training.
It's a lot of repetition. We do a food reward. There are some tools we use. Often use a clicker, which means good, or a food treat is on its way. So when I coax a pig, we'll click and then give them the food reward. We teach them to stand on a mark. So basically I can place this somewhere in a shot where the pig is supposed to stand specifically, and it gives them more of a base to be able to stay throughout a scene. Another tool that we use for the pigs is target. Wilbur being, you know, a character and talking in the movie, he talks to Charlotte and all the other barnyard animals.
Oh, wow, look at that.
So we'll teach them to look at this, and then off camera, I'll have them look at this and then put it where the other animal is and look at it there. Sometimes one specific pig may do fantastic one day for a certain type of scene that plays and everything's perfect, and then you go out the next day and you're all excited to work him because he did so well the day before, and then he doesn't want to give you that same performance. Come here. No. Target. No. Target. Mark. Target. No.
Animals are better at different things. I mean, they're kind of like people. They're all individual. So one might be really good at looking at the target and keeping a long stare, and another one might be better at long distance sitting, where another one might be better at standing on a mark.
There are going to be some failures, and that's also why we have backup pigs.
They've all worked out fantastic. We had no idea how smart they would be to train.
Here. Good. Stay.
Once you develop that trust relationship with them and they kind of know who works them, they're very much like dogs. You can see them licking my hands like a dog. This is Fred, Nigel, Annie and Donald. But they all come to their names. Every sheep that I've trained knows their own name, and I can call them out of a whole pack of them and they'll come to me. Fred, come on. Good. They're really fantastic. They're not like what people think, and sheep are stupid.
Very good. One take wonders. Okay, sheep are done. Thank you very much. Stand by to bring Ike in.
The lead horse is named Ike, and the double horse is named Blowfly, and this is Blowfly. And he does all of Ike's action stuff that has to be done, such as lying down and rearing and all those different types of things.
Oh, golly. Now you're just beating a dead horse.
Hey!
To train a horse like Blowfly, it's all about trust. He learns to trust me, I learn to trust him, and then we work as a partnership as one. He's been an excellent performer. He's been an excellent actor, as I would call him. He's been an absolute star. He's a special horse. He's become one of those horses that is extra intelligent and just loves to do his job. Back.
There's a lot of animals that I've worked in my past history that we just say, nope, she doesn't like it, and maybe go get a different one. And so you can definitely tell. When they run to the set, that's a good indication too, when they drag you on the set. It's like, easy.
They love these animals, and to get the animals' confidence, that comes through love. That doesn't come through being tough with these animals. You can't do that. You have to be gentle and loving, and they perform for you, and that's what's going on.
One element that really contributes to the classic nature of the book is that it's a book that is imbued with the best of American and Northeastern culture.
The story of how Charlotte's Web came to be is pretty famous. E.B. White bought a farm in North Brooklyn, Maine in 1933, and he spent many, many years there going back and forth between New York, the busy life of New York, and the idyllic rural life, the pastoral life of Maine. He finally retired there in 1957, but he had a whole barnyard full of animals. He had geese and he had sheep and he had pigs and he had all these creatures, and he spent a great deal of time with them. He nurtured them, and yet always in the back of his mind he knew he was preparing them for a fate that they would not enjoy, and that was that they would be butchered. And so he always felt a little bit of a traitor. So he began to think, how is it that I could perhaps save a pig? And it suddenly came to him, what if there is a magical interposition?
It's a miracle.
I could just picture E.B. White sitting out, sort of with his pipe, kind of watching animals in the barn, and then just coming up with this, again, this very simple idea about this spider and this pig.
It's recognized to be, and rightly so, a great children's classic.
I think this book is so popular because it addresses completely universal themes. It addresses loneliness. It starts with life and death and the choice to value life more than what makes the most sense in that moment.
What are you doing?
Wilbur is a pig of little value at the beginning of this book.
You're not gonna kill it, are you?
It's a run. Go back to bed. The core premise of the book being that there is a life worth saving, and this very, very small creature being able to do something to have this big effect.
You're little, they're huge. How are you going to stop them?
I think that's something that kids relate to just because of kids feeling small and insignificant and like their actions don't matter.
And yet, I think the book gives them hope that even if they're runts, or even if they lack value in their own eyes, and perhaps even in other people's eyes, that doesn't give them a life sentence, that they in fact can make themselves terrific and become radiant and enter a life that's full and rich and happy, as Wilbur's is.
I wish I knew the formula for actually creating a classic, because I would just go out and whip a few up. When you tap into a nerve and a universal understanding of a very unique relationship and a sort of railing against an injustice.
Don't think I don't know, Frank. That we're all here because a determined little girl made a promise to a pig.
I think that the classic nature of a look at selflessness and friendship and the creation of family where there is none is best seen through someone from the outside who comes into a world. And I think that was very clearly what E.B. White was doing as he brought little Wilbur into this barn. Those elements also helped to make it a classic.
The friendship that develops between Charlotte and Wilbur is it's the kind of friendship we all should have in this life. Someone who is loyal to the end, is loyal beyond the end. Wilbur's devotion to those babies of Charlotte is just extending his loyalty to his friend after she's gone. Those timeless values, the more we can hold on to them, the better.
White is particularly adept at showing us the beauties of creatures that we don't traditionally think of as beautiful.
She is hideous. Are we even seeing the same ruddy creature?
I guess not.
And he makes them heroic, and he makes them lovable, and he brings us inside to show their special traits and their special values.
If I don't win the prize tomorrow, they're going to send me to the smokehouse.
You're going to win, Wilbur, and you're going to see the snows of winter. I told you, I never break a promise.
The book is an acceptance of everything, the glory of everything, the good and the bad. It's an acceptance of the nearness of rats and the cuddly, innocent beauty of the newborn geese.
Wow! Look at them! They're eggs, and now they're just, look at them!
It's an acceptance of the flatulence of cows. It's an acceptance of life. It's an acceptance of death. It is, as White called it, the great paean to life, the great hymn to the barn. He'd always hoped that a film would be made that dealt with a true barn and the whole wonder of the barn. He wanted the smells and the sights and the sounds, and he wanted the reality of the barn and the creatures that lived there, and he wanted real animals. That's what the whole book is about. It's too bad in many ways that E.B. White did not live in an era when the film that he envisioned of this book could have been made.
You can't make a movie about the survival of Wilbur and not care about the survival of the animals that played Wilbur.
Animals Australia became involved with Charlotte's Web right out of the blue. One morning I had a phone call in the office from Bernie Williams, the executive producer of Charlotte's Web. He had 42, I think it was, piglets that needed to find good homes for life, and we realised that that was going to be a challenge because whilst they were cute and tiny at that age and obviously easy to manage, that they were going to grow into very large female pigs that were going to need an environment that suited them. And so part of the arrangements and part of the agreements reached with the doctors was that they would have good homes to be able to live out their natural life cycle. It's just been extraordinarily special because it has ended up being the happy ending that has occurred, of course, in the movie. You need a sense of humour when you've got a pig as well. We really needed these types of homes where they were going to be able to lie out in the sun, where if it was hot, they would be given shelter. If it was cold, they were going to be given warmth and hay in a barn. So we made sure that right across the spectrum, we were covering all their needs. These were homes that were going to embrace all these needs and provide them for the pigs. So in the end, every single adopter was checked, and in the end they all signed a contract to say that they would look after that animal for life. And Animals Australia each year checks in with them. They can call us any time if they've got a question, and we'll always help them to find the answer. All of those people have stayed in touch. All of them talk about their pigs and the different experiences that they've had with them, and they're having a glorious life down there. Two of the homes that we were able to find were really piggy heavens because they were already farm animal sanctuaries. One in Victoria, Edgar's Mission.
So Edgar's Mission is a sanctuary for the rescued farm animals that you see here, who are ambassadors for their kind. People can come and meet the animals, learn about what is important to the animals in their life, and they can go away for themselves and make a decision that feels right for them. I can't tell people what to do, but I can inspire them to think. So we've got Alice the pig here, and she played the mother of Wilbur in Charlotte's Web. Hi Alice, how you doing? You a good pig? Alice is a particularly amazing story because playing the mother of Wilbur, she was a sow from a factory farm. She was rescued by Paramount Pictures and she came to live out her days here at Edgar's Mission. And this pig now, she loves life, she loves people, she hoofs all over the farm, and you can see she's covered in mud. Yesterday she spent all day getting ready with her makeup. She loves it in the wallow. This is Daisy. She played Wilbur in Charlotte's Web. Oh, she's the sweetest pig you could ever meet. She loves a tummy rub. Hello. So we've got two stars of Charlotte's Web. Lily Pig, hello. And Daisy Pig. Aww. When you actually work with these individual animals, you learn so much more about them, how intelligent they are, how much they want to be a pig, how much it means to them to feel the soil and the sunshine and these sorts of things. One of the most wonderful things in seeing these now very large sows in different homes is that they'll still sit, and it's quite an extraordinary thing to watch this enormous animal sit and of course receive the treat for it. Sit. Good girl. Oh, she's a good pig. Down in Tasmania, also Emma Haswell, who runs a farm animal sanctuary, and her daughter Eliza, who's an extraordinary young child, have taken one of the Willies as well.
We've got 6 pigs and their names are Fudge, Willie, Diana, Chris, Cooper and Rufus.
Eliza actually reminds me so much of Fern in the movie. She's around about the same age, and if ever a child has been born to save a life, it's Eliza.
The first time we met Willie was at the Hobart Airport, and she was in a crate, and we walked along the row of piglets and everyone was really excited. There were about 7 or 8 families waiting for their pig, and we took her to the back of our ute and opened up the door, and she leapt into our arms and lay there honking.
For me, it's the most rewarding thing, seeing children play with pigs. A pig is a natural antidepressant in my book. There's no way anyone can ever be depressed living with a pig. So for children to grow up with pigs and play with pigs, it's fantastic. They love to go for walks and they just love being part of a family and interacting with people. That's something we didn't realise before we got pigs.
When Willie's in a good mood, I'll just give her a big cuddle and scratch her tummy, and she often makes me feel better. My responsibilities of the pigs are to top up their water and feed them and let them out of their pens. And she loves bread and lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers and dog biscuits. She loves dog biscuits. She loves nearly everything, any type of food. She likes to lie in puddles of mud and root around for worms and sleep in the sun. I don't think it's strange to kiss a pig because I don't think they're any different to people apart from how they look.
One of the most beautiful and powerful lines in Charlotte's Web is undoubtedly Wilbur saying, "I don't want to die."
I want to live. I want to see the snow.
And you will.
When you meet these animals, as these families have, and get to know them, you realise so quickly that I want to live, and that's their whole message. They want to live and experience life to the fullest. And I think that that's the whole message of the movie too, and E.B. White's wonderful story as to what outcomes can be if you look at things through their eyes.
I know everyone is saying it's some kind of... What is it?
But what's got you worried is that her only friends are pigs. But what's got you worried is that her only friends are peaks? Pekingese. Okay.
Where'd the pig go?
Good.
What? You gonna lie to the future football here? Oh!
Yes, pigs, chickens, horses, and cows. That sounds like you. I don't think I meant to say that. Sorry.
Why don't you go to the Whites or the Sargents today and play, or...
Get that fly out of my nose.
Hello. All my best friends are there.
Okay, good. Reset.
Yes. Fern? Yes. Fern? Fern, wait. Why don't we go to the Whites or the Sargents today?
Come on down. Let the escaping sheep